sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Well, Mr. Dan O'Toole, welcome to the Moose on the Loose audio files. You are
Great to be here.
You are our second guest. Our first guest was your old coworker, Cabral Richards.
Cabby, what a guy.
Yeah.
Class act.
Oh yeah, he's definitely he's quite a guy. Love him.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be a god in Canada?
Whoa! I wouldn't classify myself as that. I'd classify Jay and I as a unique little creation of our own. One in which we're lucky that people came along for the ride and tuned in and eventually got on with the joke. It wasn't always smooth sailing when we first were paired together and we started doing our thing. Some people, we heard a lot of them saying, hey, we don't like you guys. Put someone else on. But eventually we'd hear from those people 2 months later, okay, I was wrong. I love you guys. So we always just ask that people give us a chance, and eventually they would like us because we're just like your buddy, sitting on the couch, making the same comments about the game that he would make. So, yeah, I wouldn't put us in that status. Again, I just put us as interesting figures that happen to create a little following.
You understand, though, that some people, that following is almost cult-like for some. We have some people who would tune in every time, whether it be at 11 p.m. or 1 a.m., or they would wake up just to see you guys on TV, right?
Yeah, we understood that, and we hear from a lot of those people on Twitter, and we can't thank people enough that did set time out of their day for us, that listen to our podcasts and follow us on Twitter and all that stuff. Because, like I said, we're fans of sports, and we want it to feel like you're sitting with your friends watching the game, because that's exactly how Jay and I approach our jobs. Because if you ever came into our work, we sit and watch all the games together. We're making comments during the games, and then we're like, oh yeah, I guess we got to go on TV now and talk about this. So we have never taken our jobs seriously, tongue in cheek. And the other thing is, you shouldn't, because it's sports. There's so many other things bigger in life than sports, and sports, when you boil it down, is entertainment. That's what it is. So that's what we try to approach with our jobs. And if people find that entertaining, which a lot of people did, thank goodness, then we're doing our jobs right.
So you're in LA now.
Yes.
What perceptions about the city of Los Angeles you found out were true, and what weren't true?
The one that I found was true was the amount of sunshine. I have never had this much sun in my entire life. I have gone through I've only been here just over a year. I've gone through 3 black hats because of my Irish complexion. I always have to wear a hat during the day. The hats have become faded from the sun. So I'm on my 3rd one. The false thing that I found out about LA, traffic's not that bad. Traffic is 10 times worse in Toronto, where I previously lived. I've been here a year and a few months, and I have yet to be in a traffic jam in LA.
Yeah. So we're going to, every week, NFL, actually every sports entity comes out with power rankings. I don't know why, but that's just the nature of sports. So I'm going to present to you.
People like to see lists. People like lists.
Yeah. I'm going to present to you duo sports couples, and you're going to have to give me your sports couple based on these rankings.
Okay.
So there's...
do I have to put them in order?
Yeah. From bottom to first. Save your first one for last. Okay. So Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. Don Cherry and Ron McLean. Jay and Dan. Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth from Sunday Night Football. And Jerry the King Lawler and JR from WWE.
Okay, well, it's not false modesty. It's just who I am. I'm putting us last on the list. I'm putting Ron and Don first.
All right.
I'm putting Jerry the King, they're second. Kornheiser and Wilbon 3. And then who was our other one?
Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Actually, no, I'm putting them ahead of Kornheiser and Wilbon. So there you go. There's your top 5.
All right.
Ron and Don easily number 1 on my list.
You're on the West Coast.
Are they still doing Coach's Corner together?
Yeah, they are.
From everything.
Even with the whole makeover shift, they're still together.
Okay, good.
Yeah. On the West Coast, games tend to end earlier than on the East Coast. Do you have more free time because of that?
Heck no. We work twice as long as we did in Canada. Reason being, we go on at 8 Eastern. 8 local. And we don't end until 11 o'clock local. So we're on air for 3 hours a night. And in Canada, it was 1 hour a night. So, yeah, we do not end earlier because in Canada, Dutchie would do that 10 o'clock Eastern show, cover the early games. Games wouldn't be over. Then by the time we did our show, all the games are over. So instead of us doing an early show and a late show, we do both shows and combined all of it. So we do updates on games, and it's quite an undertaking and one that we still haven't gotten used to, but eventually we may.
Who would play you and Jay in a movie, and what would it be called?
Who would play Jay?
Yeah, and yourself.
I'd get Jim Carrey to play Jay because, first off, Jay's a huge fan of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's Canadian, and Jim Carrey does a lot of facial things. That's what Jay does. So I would pick him. To play me, I would get the gentleman from The Hobbit. I always forget his name, but he looks a lot like me. He was also on the original Office. The show would be called... Oh, what would the movie be called? How Did We Get Here?
Do you guys live...
The Jay and Dan story.
Yeah. Do you guys live an Anchorman type lifestyle?
No, I live the furthest thing from that, as you probably figured out, while making cheese dogs while doing this interview. And Jay lives with his wife in Santa Monica, and we don't go to flashy parties. We don't walk around drinking tumblers of scotch during the day in silk robes.
Yeah, there's no stabbing people with tridents.
No. Yeah, when you boil it down, we both live very normal lives, which is great. Get to walk my kids to school every day and see them when they get home, and go to the park like every other parent. So, yeah, it's I guess it's kind of boring, but it's a boring that we enjoy.
Yeah. When did you know you were going to be able to make a living in broadcasting?
When I first took my first gig, which was airborne traffic reporting in Vancouver, straight out of school, I was a horrible negotiator. They said, what would you need to survive? I said, $24,000 a year. They said, how about less? I said, how about 20? They said, how about less? I said, how about 18? And they said, sold. So I took my first job, making $18,000 a year in Vancouver, one of the most expensive places to live in Canada. I made it work, and I decided right then and there that, hey, I'm getting paid to do something I enjoy, and I think I might be able to make a living at this. And then eventually got out of there and started getting back into sports and moved to Fort McMurray, Alberta, where, again, I didn't get paid much more than $18,000, but I made enough to live and pay my bills and enjoyed the odd meal out. And I couldn't imagine doing anything else after doing that.
So now we're going to get into the fan questions, and the Moose on Duluth fans, by which I mean my Facebook friends, sent in the questions to ask to you. So,
hey, they're still humans, though, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not like computer-generated questions.
Oh no. They're real online friends. So
I love real online friends. Oh, we don't know about the human component yet.
So the first question comes from my friend Razor, and he asks...
Oh, Cyborg 8, yeah.
He asks, what's Jay's secret to grow such a mean mustache?
Jay's a really hairy guy. He has to get his back waxed. I'm not even kidding. And he will openly admit that. He talks about it on the podcast all the time. I, not so hairy. So, and if you look closely, he has about half an inch larger upper lip than me. So he has more upper lip mass than I do. So there's the other big key. So hairiness and upper lip mass.
Do you still, this from Jessica Lottie, do you still get your haircuts from First Choice?
I do not. And when I look back at my some of my stuff I did in Canada, I'm surprised I was allowed on TV with some of the haircuts I received. No offense to those fine people at that establishment, but now I have a nice gentleman by the name of Derek that cuts my hair at the Fox lot. He's there to cut our hair and make it look a lot better. And it cost me nothing. So I thought those haircuts were cheap. Now they're really cheap.
Do you have a bond with your barber?
With Derek, of course. I see him every day. I did not have a bond with my barber at First Choice because every time I came in, they're like, oh, you're off today? They asked me the same questions. I had to answer the same questions every single time. With Derek, I don't have to because I see him every day. So, yes, I have a great bond with Derek.
That's good. And last fan question from Pierre-Luc. Do you have...
Now you're making that one up for sure.
No, it's Pierre-Luc. Do you have a picture of Bobrovsky in your bedroom?
Jay might. I do not, thank God. But Bobrovsky should have a picture of Jay because Jay put Bobrovsky on the map.
Yes, you did. I'm not going to disagree with that. Even though you work as an anchor and you have to remain somewhat professional, which team do you support?
I'm a Toronto Blue Jays fan. For sure. That's the one team that I've lived and died with my entire life. The 85 Jays, still my favorite team of all time when they won their first pennant. So I openly admit that, although my Fox bosses did inform me that if the Jays make the World Series because Fox has the rights, that it's a ratings disaster in the United States. Pardon me? Just hang on one second. More? We're getting another order of cheese dogs. Yeah.
Might have to open up your own cheese dog shop.
Yeah, I know. I guess I have to open one of those street vendor carts.
Yeah. Street meat. The best meat.
Exactly. Just disgusting.
You went to Algonquin College, right?
True.
Yeah. Do you have any Ottawa story that you would care to share with us, since seeing as we are based out of Ottawa?
I love Ottawa. It is one of the cities in which, given the opportunity or given the chance, I would move back there in a second. I always tell people visiting Ontario, they say, oh, what can you see and do in Toronto? I say, you know where you go? Ottawa. Because you run out of things to see and do in Toronto in about 2 hours. Ottawa, you can fill 3-4 days with stuff. That's one of the reasons I love it. The other thing is beaver tails. Love those.
Yeah.
Love the market. I spent all of my student loan in the Byward market.
Oh, yeah.
I openly admit that. Yes, since I've since I've since paid it off. I can tell that. And I actually lived out in Nepean by the college. So I would take, the 99?
I think it's 95.
The 95.
One of the 90s.
The 95 in on the Thursday night, stay at my friend's house who lived just off the market, and I would return home to Nepean on Sunday. So I experienced every single thing I could while in Ottawa, made the trip countless times over to Hull, when the bars closed. So yes, a lot of the things I can't openly admit to, but the bare facts was visited several times.
Yeah. Oh, sounds like my first year.
Getting out of the clutches of mom and dad was great.
Yeah. Did you also, it's also the capital, not only is Ottawa the capital of Canada, it's also the capital of shawarma. Did you eat?
Oh, I didn't know that.
You did not know that?
Nope.
No shawarmas during your time in Ottawa?
I probably had some, yeah.
Huh.
But do I remember? No. That was probably like a 3 a.m. meal.
Yeah. So we're going to go on to the next section called What's Your Beef? And I creeped your Twitter. And yep. I found things that you may have a beef with, and if you could please explain your beef with said thing or person.
Yep, perfect.
So what's your beef with Dijon mustard?
It's just a horrible, horrible flavor. I still remember the first time, again, hot dogs is going to come up in the story here. First time I ever had a hot dog with Dijon mustard on it. I was at a record shop in Vancouver. A friend from Algonquin College had come out to visit me, and I said, hey, I'm just going to run into this record shop. You go over there and grab a couple of hot dogs. He's like, okay. We get into the vehicle. First bite I took, I proceeded to spit out the car because it had Dijon on it. That was the first time I ever tasted Dijon, and I despised it at first taste. I despise it whenever I encounter it now. It should be wiped off the face of the earth, and anyone who enjoys it, I don't think we can have a friendship.
Okay. What's your beef with...
It is just a horrible, horrible taste.
What's your beef with producer Tim?
He's an angry man who, anytime we want to have fun, he tries to squash it. He is the epitome of the no-fun police.
He sounds like what the kids call a party pooper.
He would be the inventor. He is the original pooper of the party.
What is your beef?
So is a party pooper someone who poops?
I don't know.
I've always thought about that. Is that where it originated? So someone used the toilet and went number 2, and then they ruined the party?
I'm French, so when I learned English expressions, I took them literally. So as a kid, I thought a party pooper was somebody who would poop a party. Literally poop a party.
Like just right in the living room?
Yeah, they would poop, and then boom, party. Party comes out. Okay, so what is your beef?
Hang on one second. Yep. Ruby O'Toole, yes. What's wrong?
I'm just doing something on
What's on your foot?
my ankle.
Oh, no. Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Injury taken care of?
Yep. Back on,
all right.
On the IR?
Nah, she's day to day.
Yeah, okay. What's your beef with milk that doesn't come in bags?
I just love that it's so unique and not all across Canada. I did not know that because whenever I mention it or I sent that tweet when I was back in Ontario, it's like an East Coast Ontario thing.
Yeah.
Because they don't have it out west. And I did not know that. I thought it was just around the country thing, and at an earlier age, I just thought it was everyone got their bag of milks, and then you start taking trips and noticing, no, it's kind of weird, and when you think about it, it's really weird that it comes in bags.
I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that.
That's like imagine you're getting your Coca-Cola in a bag.
Well,
Or any other thing you drink, like your water. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to get a bag of water. No, I don't know why the milk industry does that, but hey.
we had those
Who are
actually
we
back
to-
home, bags of water, little like juice packs, but with water instead.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Go Nova Scotia for you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great place.
What is your beef with McDonald's Random Red Couch song?
Oh, it was the worst ad campaign in the history of the world. And Jay looked deeper into it. He has a friend who's in the ad industry who's seen every commercial pitch and every commercial ever. He figured they went to shoot something. Yes, Ruby O'Toole.
That's I did.
Okay. No idea what she just said. So his friend, who's in the ad industry, figured, yeah, they had no idea. They had a couch. They just came up with that on the day of shooting, turned it into a commercial. And if that's the case, then I despise it even more because no thought was put into it. But it did get the attention of people like the Trivago ads. It got the attention of people and had people talking. So maybe, in a way, it was brilliant.
All right. And lastly, what is your beef with the Sochi Bear?
With who?
The Sochi Bear, the Sochi Olympics mascot.
Oh, I have no beef with him at all. I love that guy. He just was caught in a very compromising position with the Olympic bunny. The Sochi Bear was also a little terrifying.
Yeah, he was.
As were most things in Russia.
Yeah, that's true. And lastly, for this Moose on the Loose audio files, do you have any words of advice or anything would you like to say to Canada right now?
Words of advice for the entire country?
Or any message you would like to get out there. And by country, I mean the people who are going to listen to this, which again are my Facebook friends.
My advice to people living in Canada would be enjoy your country. It is the greatest country in the entire world. We take a lot of things for granted, but please don't. Enjoy living in a place that has free Medicare, because nowhere else has that like us. So enjoy it, and enjoy that clean air, because where I am, the air is dirty, and the medical coverage is expensive.
Well, Mr. Dan O'Toole, thank you for participating in the Moose on the Loose audio files.
Moose, I think this is going to be a big hit. It's going to be a viral sensation.
That's what Cabby said. That's what Cabby said, and he brought my hopes up.
Well, thanks for making me your second ever guest. You know what's best about me being the second guest?
What?
You can only go up from here.
No, I don't know. I had to climb Everest to get my first two guests. I'm gonna have to jump up to space to get my third one. But if ever Matt Leonard wants to come,
Prime Minister on. Get the Prime Minister your second one.
All right.
Or your third one.
He's right down the street. I'll go. I might go visit him soon. Tell him Dan O'Toole said to come on.
I better run now, because now I have another interview with someone in Toronto now.
All right. Well, thank you very much.